It's a national typing competition. Everyone is flying with their fingers in a beautiful posture. Only this girl was different. She's using a one finger's end. The people next to her were laughing at her. They were laughing at her, thinking she was weak. She didn't want to participate in this competition. It was her boss who forced her to come. When she first interviewed for the job, she was the most inconspicuous of all. The boss didn't want her, but when she showed him her typing ability, he was shocked. The boss was shocked. He had never seen anyone who could type so fast with two fingers. The boss decided to hire the girl, Ruth, right away. But Ruth's father didn't agree, because he had already arranged for Ruth to marry the village's Tommy. In their village, girls her age had become housewives. She was the only one who practiced typing every day. Her father thinks she is not doing her job, but Ruth was not willing to stay in the village. She wanted to go out into the world, so she left the village and became the secretary of the company. But she could do nothing but type. She couldn't do anything. She always made mistakes in making documents, and often because the typing voice is too loud. The boss was scolded by the noise. The boss finally could not stand it, but he did not want to admit that he was wrong about the person. So he came up with a good idea. Let Ruth to participate in the prevailing national typing competition. The boss had high hopes for her. Although Ruth is very talented, but she did not have professional training. 2 fingers are not as fast as 10 fingers. After all, Ruth was eliminated in the first round. The boss was very angry, because he is a very strong man. He would not allow his own staff to give him shame, so he decided to train Ruth. Let her become the world's first typing master. To be the fastest typist in the world, you must not use one finger. First you must learn to type with 10 fingers. Each finger has a corresponding key. To memorize these keys, Ruth's nails were painted in the appropriate color. She had to type all 10 books in 2 months, but that was just the foundation. To increase the dexterity of her fingers, the owner hired a piano teacher specifically for Ruth. Let her learn the piano, so that her fingers can become very flexible. This alone is not enough. Typing is a physical job. She has to be physically strong. The boss takes her to exercise every day, so that she can have more stamina than the other players. In order for Ruth to get the nutrition, the boss prepares a special healthy meal for her every day. When she was tired, she was given a massage. The 2 months of training were soon over. Ruth has turned from a rookie to a super typist. It was time to enter the competition. Ruth made it all the way to the finals. She went straight to the final. Only she and an older woman were left in the final. The big lady slowed down significantly at the end, but Ruth's super strength kept her speed up. In the end, Ruth won with a score of 491 words per minute. She became the strongest typist in the Normandy district. She will represent the Normandy district in the national typing competition. This competition made her famous. The newspapers are full of stories about her, but her father still looked at the newspapers with disdain. He didn't think it was something to be proud of. This was particularly frustrating for Ruth. Fortunately, she had a good boss, a boss who had devoted all his efforts to Ruth. He didn't just want Ruth to succeed, because he had fallen in love with this serious and persistent girl, and Ruth has fallen in love with the man who keeps helping her. They made each other. The boss takes her to Paris to participate in a national typing competition. This woman walks around smugly, because she's good at it. She was the national typing champion for 5 years. She could type 512 words a minute. On average, she could type 8 words a second. The media were all clamoring to interview her. She was so proud of herself, but she could never have imagined that. But she never expected that a girl from the village would become her biggest competitor. It was Ruth's first time competing in a national competition. She was very nervous. In the first 2 rounds, Ruth barely made it through the pass line, and this woman has always been the first. The boyfriend on the sidelines looked anxious, although nervous, but Ruth's strong strength still led her into the final. And it was this woman who faced the final. Ruth smiled at the woman to show her friendship, but I did not expect to get a middle finger from the other side. This one directly angered Ruth. The two face each other in the final. A good typing match instantly became a war between 2 women. At the end of the match, the 2 were evenly matched. The referee announced an extra match, but Ruth was already tired. She lost her will to fight. At that moment, her boyfriend said something that shocked her. Ruth had already beaten the record set by that woman in training. She had always thought she was inferior to her opponent, but in fact, her boyfriend had been hiding it from her, just to stimulate Ruth's potential at this moment. Ruth was furious. At this moment, Her fighting spirit is all fired up. She's going to beat this arrogant, domineering woman. In front of the entire audience, Ruth wins. She became the new national typing champion, and it was her boyfriend who made her. But her boyfriend is now gone in silence. All this time, he thought Ruth could not leave him. He helped Ruth get to this point, and now, Ruth is the national champion. He can't give Ruth any useful help anymore. He was too competitive to let that happen, so he decided to leave, and Ruth came after him, only to be rebuffed severely. Why do two people who clearly love each other have to compete? The boyfriend still decided to leave. That day, Ruth received a package, an old typewriter. It was sent by her father. He had seen Ruth's performance on TV, and her father had recognized what Ruth had done from the bottom of his heart. With her father's support, Ruth was soon back to training. There was a world competition waiting for her. This is a competition of all the world's top typists. The toughest opponent was this old lady. She had been the champion for 5 years in a row. She was the world record holder. All the other players were no match for the old lady. Only Ruth made it to the final, and the old lady was defeated in the first game. But the old lady was so devious and cunning. Before the second set began, she attacked her with words and taunts. Ruth was so distracted that the old lady wins the second game. Ruth's mind was greatly affected, and she was bound to lose. At that moment, her boyfriend suddenly appeared. He came to apologize. It turned out that he had been unable to eat and drink since he returned. He figured out that he was too proud of himself to think that Ruth could not leave him. But now he found out that he was the one who could not leave Ruth. He confessed his love to Ruth, and Ruth keeps him in her heart. With the support of her boyfriend, Ruth's heart bursts with strength. She took out the old typewriter her father had given her. It was the machine she knew best. With the support of both her boyfriend and her father, Ruth's hands felt like they were buffed. If it weren't for the limitations of the machine, she could type even faster if the machine didn't limit her. The old lady was no match for her. Ruth managed to win the world championship. She became the new world typing champion. Everyone was cheering for her. At this moment, not only was her father proud of her, the whole country was proud of her. She showed us with her actions that, even from the village, you can be great.